doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Ikechukwu Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
I think it's only that can be wicked.
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
Subterfuge.
Such a fuge.
SUBTERFUGE.
So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become such. Yeah.
God that is going to push me, and we saw how the election. So sometimes we just say, if we believe that you don't need machinery that is on ground to run this thing called politics, you might not work. You need God and machinery and the whole support. So in your view, do you really believe that without this bankroll, this machinery that's available to your principal, can you still become governor?
I need the governor. I need the governor to support me to be governor. But most importantly, I need the people to support me more. Okay. And when I say God, I'm talking about the people. Because God will not come as stand and say, I am God, I'm supporting you. God will use destiny helpers to make it possible. And I have a lot of these destiny helpers that are in. I can bet you that I have a long list of people saying, I will buy your phone. We will buy your phone. We have collected money. So as I speak to you now, I can tell you the cost of the form. I already have about 10 different people and two different groups waiting to be the one to buy the form. So when you put 10 plus 2 times 35 million, just check what is there. So I'm not even going to buy the form by myself. And there are two groups again in diaspora, the Boston group and the European group. Those ones who are telling me, look, when are they supposed to buy your form? Because we already gathered something, but I'm just letting you know so that you don't allow others to do it. So when I say God is there,
using people,
He's using people. So the structure is God, and God uses people. And for me, I call it destiny helpers.
Yeah.
And because, frankly speaking, I have assisted a lot of people, and by the grace of God, I have worked for people. I worked for 2 governors now in Edo State, and when I make work, I put everything that I have in terms of my structure, in terms of my name, in terms of money, everything to have 2 governors in Edo State, Comrade Oshomole and Obaseki. Check their trajectory for them to be governor of the state. Check my impact. Check what I did for both sides. So, and not only that, I have assisted them to become governor. I'm somebody that I put everything to supporting anybody I want to support. And I can tell you, so for me now, it is my turn. It's my turn for both.
Emiloko.
Yeah, Emiloko now. Emiloko. It's my turn for Comrade Shomole and Baseki to support me.
Okay. So I want to ask you a question concerning your relationship with the governor.
Yeah.
I want to have an insight into how it was working with him for the number of years that you've done, 8 years, and how you reacted when you realized that he was not in support based on the relationship you've had with him. Just give us an insight. That would help us understand what is going on.
Yeah, when I discovered that the governor had his own plan separately from supporting me, my take is that I will not fight. I made up my mind, I will not fight. I don't want to repeat the mistake of Oshomole. And so I said I was not going to fight, and whatever it is, I will leave it in table. But what I just did was to go on my knee and ask God, should I proceed on this journey? And I need signs to proceed. And one of the signs was that, let me continue to beg the governor. Let me use others to talk to the governor. If he persists, if he continues to do what he's doing negatively, it shows that you want me to contest. If you stop, that means you don't want me to contest. And the attack continues. So I was convinced. I asked, those two signs I asked from God. I said, what kind of relationship I've had with this man, with the kind of sacrifice I made. The sacrifice of supporting the election is what people see, but the sacrifice inside government is completely, it's even more in terms of what I've been able to go through, what I've been able to, even personal earnings. I had to leave it. You see, I had to be the fool to allow the system work, and I made up my mind to be the fool in the system, even in the mix of intimidation, harassment, and even personal. When I mean personal, official entitlement,
you push it
aside. You won't believe that in 8 years, only one jeep for a deputy governor, one.
In 8 years?
In 8 years, one. Just one.
I mean,
the convoy of the governor and the deputy governor is an official thing. And because of the security implication of the two offices, it's an office. The office of the governor is one. Deputy governor, and same structure. But it was a blessing. For me, I saw it as a blessing that I have some vehicles already. So if government are giving this vehicle, this other one will be changing battery or something. So for me, I adjusted and brought in mine, and even bought Belgian vehicles to support.
Okay.
But these are not little ones. There are a lot of sacrifice. But the good news is that I was able to manage till I not decided to contest.
So talking about clarification, many times we've seen, as lay people, we see this constant fight between a governor and a deputy governor intending to be governor. And so my question is, as politicians, don't you put it into consideration and ask for a written agreement? Was there ever an agreement like that? Is it a gentleman's agreement? Or is it through the course of, being in governance, you decide, oh no, I want to do this?
There's no written agreement. And in politics, really, it's difficult to just sit down and say you are writing something that will happen 4 years. You see, in those states, we started, if you must talk about now, you must talk about 2006, 2007, under Community Association. All of us were in the same net. We came with the mantra, no to godfatherism. Let's take government back to the people.
Okay. And
that was what brought all of us together to say we are going to change it, because then the comrade governor told us that the only way money can be available for infrastructural development is when you take out the godfathers and bring money, that the money you use in servicing them, bring it to the Senate, which was completely true. I used the word, said these old people are like a chivulette, 1 kilometer, 200 gallons, or So we went on that map, and we believe in it seriously, all of us. So that is how we came into governance, taking government back to the people, and let's work. So in terms of coming together to say this is the next, the other one will follow, there was no conversation like that. But we believe that for us to continue what we started, somebody within the system must continue. That is something in quote that is there. And for me, really, it took a lot of my followers to beg me to become deputy governor. They persuaded me to be deputy governor. I was not comfortable with it, because my political line was also to be a messenger, speak for the people. As former president of NAS, that hot blood now, those activism. That's what. But when I was asked about the deputy governor, when the thing came, I saw it as God's design. And what I've met in the system, I thank God that I took that opportunity to be deputy governor, because what I've seen in the executive arm, there's no way I would have seen it in the legislative arm. And the number of people I've been able to affect positively is huge.
Okay. So I am bothered about the method of being, I don't want to fight, being, is it
implicit? Or
this time, in the face of things, because I understand the deputy governor, the political science and law that I understand, it's an elected office. It's constitutionally provided for. And if you consider the governor the principal, is when you do this. But if you consider your office an existing, recognized, legally newly recognized office, you'll be in court demanding, compelling others to compel him to do the needful. So it just doesn't sit well. Maybe as an education, this fight is that you didn't fight.
Yeah.
How do you think the other people received this method that you chose, or is it just within your cycle
Peaceful method
that you're encouraged?
Yeah, I think a lot of people were shocked because they know me to be a fighter. They know me to be a fighter, and suddenly they saw I'm receiving bashing from all ends. I'm even telling my people, don't reply. The reason is that I'm an experienced politician. I know I'm going to win the primaries, and when I win the primaries, I will need all of them, including the governor. So if I start fighting him now and I get the ticket, he will not support me. He will not be we will not start solving the issues of what I said when I was fighting him.
Yeah.
And so my strategy is that even if he slapped me in public, just like they did in the church, I went to greet him and refused. No problem. No, no best. I move. So my strategy was just there. And people actually misunderstood that strategy. Some even thought I've given up, I will not contest the election until I declared.
I like this Emilio that you're talking about. But we saw the presidential, the larger one, how it played out. When it was the time for the South, it was the time for the South, even though the party, some parties did not agree with the Southern ticket. In Edo now, the Edo Central people think it's their time, and you are Edo North. How do you want to play that card? How do you think? Based on the timing and the need for the people, how do you think?
Yeah, when I said a miracle, I mean it with all respect and equity, fairness. It's our turn, and it's my turn in terms of the political circle that we started in 2007. It's my turn. I haven't worked for 2 governors in that circle. It's my turn, and I was active. My name was everywhere, fighting for votes. So it's my turn. In terms of senatorial districts, Edo Central had governor. Let's just start from 1999.
Yes.
Without going back, if we go back, Edo Central had it twice. But let's start from 1999. Lucky Benedo was from Edo South, governor. 8 years. After that, Usumbo, 18 months. From Edo Central. Edo Central. Governor Usumbo is from Edo Central, and he was governor. And if you check our gazette, you see he's receiving pension as former governor, and at the top of our protocol list is there. Then after Usumbo, Edo North, Oshomole. After Oshomole, it was supposed to now possibly go to Edo Central, but Edo South came again, and Edo South became governor. You understand? Now, after Edo South, by nomenclature, Edo South, yes, the biggest senatorial. They've had it twice from 1999. The next senatorial district is Edo North, and Edo North had it once, and Edo Central once. So if we must follow population, the next is Edo North, and that's where I'm coming from. And that is equity.
Edo Central, Osumbo was removed by an election tribunal.
Yeah.
He didn't stay up to
8 years.
4 years.
He was governor. That's what is key.
He was,
Yeah.
but he didn't have 8 years.
All the executive order, like the court said, everything that I did is valid and legitimate. So
but
it was
signing an equity, do you think Edo North, who had 8 years, is still validly?
Yes. You see, it's lazy mind that talk about senatorial districts when they want to look for something. For me, capacity should be the order of the day. And in terms of the party that I belong, they've never given ticket to Edo North person. They've given 3 tickets out. 2 to Edo South, 1 to Edo Central. They've not given any to Edo North. So if we go through many parameters, Edo North is the next, and I am Emilio this time. And
I'm curious to know if, because we heard a lot of things in the news, and there's some things we assumed. And one of the things is, did you ever sit down with the governor after the stories of how he treated you in church, or how your office was closed up and you were sent somewhere? Was there a conversation before or after that? And what was the conversation about, if you can share it?
Yeah, I think the only conversation we had over this thing was a meeting that was called by one of our leaders and in his house, and over my contest. And as at that time, I made it clear that I was consulting and I've not made up my mind. And frankly speaking, I was consulting. I'm not somebody that jumps into things in a hurry. So I was not sure. I was also asking myself, should I contest this election? So I needed to consult. But I started with non-politicians because I wanted to start from that angle. Because politicians, some of their interests may come in and they just advise based on their interests. So I decided to go outside. I went to the clergy, went to businessmen, went to those that are not partisan. And the feelings that I got was overwhelming. They were even telling me why, certain things that they thought I should be able to continue and why they feel. And I saw it. And at the end of the day, I made up my mind that, okay, I'm going to fast and pray. And I've seen the governor do X and X. If he continues, that means yes. If he stops, that means no. And the thing increased. That gave me the confidence. That's why when people see me that, with what you are going through, you look rough or ruffled. I say yes, because I asked God that this, yes, and I said this will continue with this. It means I should contest. So when he was doing it, he was actually giving me the carbohydrates, the energy. So actually contest for it. Confirming God's word, and I'm really excited about it. I'm happy about it. Really, really excited.
We come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well,
Here goes.
Now available in new flavors.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have with us our special guest with us. PC had a question.
Yes, so I know very soon start asking you your plans if you win the primaries and all of that. But you know, in politics, especially the way we play it in this part of the world, I haven't lived anywhere else, so I don't know. They say loyalty trumps capacity, and sometimes the principals would like somebody who is more loyal to them than even the person they know can deliver, you know, better on the job. And you know, because of what has been happening in some quarters, they have said that you're not a loyal person. I would like you to address that. How do you place that in politics? How do you play loyalty in politics, but also do not forget your dreams?
My question is similar to that, so let me just add mine. So my question was about, what is it exactly about you that you think the governor doesn't like, or the reason why he doesn't want to support? Is it because of loyalty issues, or what exactly is the core of your own perspective why he's not supporting you?
Yeah, I think in terms of loyalty, I think people get it, or the governors people are getting it all wrong. Loyalty to the governor and to the state, you can't fault me on that. You can't fault, even the governor can't fault me in terms of loyalty. Ambition and loyalty, they are two separate things.
Okay.
So you have to separate it. Ambition is guaranteed by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Okay. Loyalty is given, and I've given that loyalty 100%. I told you, I sacrificed a lot to keep the relationship. Right. A lot. I even had to, my own political father, Comrade Adams Oshomole, I disagreed with him. No, not disloyal. I disagree with him when we wanted to move the goalposts when the march started in favor of Obaseki. Even when, as at the time I was doing that, I know what I was deprived of. Yeah. Personal and official, I was deprived of a lot of them. But I didn't mind. It was not about what I earned. It's not about me. It's about what we've started. And I see it work. It worked under Oshomole. I saw it work. So for me, that trajectory must not be cut short. Yeah. And I have to put everything in it, loyalty 100% to the government.
What did you do?
Now, ambition is just the problem. Oh. The only problem I have with the governor is just my dream of becoming governor. Not more. I don't have any personal issues.
What is his problem? What do you think his problem is with you? Is it fear of your ambition? Do you think there's something about he has on you? Actually, some secret that you guys have, or something between the two of you that nobody else knows? There's got to be something he knows.
Or does he not trust that you be a good governor of Edo State?
I really don't want to say what I feel in terms of why, because I've been checking and I've been hearing different conversations. So I'm saying the guy is bringing his business partner. So, and the guy, Chairman Sterling Bank, official bank of the state government, transactions in the state, he knows much about the transaction. Is his business partner. So a lot of speculation. So I cannot actually lay my hand on any one of what the issues are, because I check the way it is not like putting light off and switching it off. The way the government just changed. It's like putting light, the way you switch off light. And so just checking, listening to, I'm an own boy, listening to the streets. The street is telling me it's his partner. The other one, one time somebody said capacity. I don't have capacity. I said, okay. I check. I say if capacity means when you are given an assignment and your assignment becomes the flagship of the administration, then I don't have capacity. But if capacity is that you're giving an assignment and fail, and that makes you have capacity, then I don't have. So for me, all the assignments that I've handled in this government, they are the flagship of the government now. We pride ourselves that we have done this, we have done that. Those things that are under my purview. So in terms of capacity, that one is not there at all because I have capacity.
Nelson is calling from Play to Stay. Good morning.
Oh,
Nelson?
this
I lost that call.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a way you described yourself of someone of great influence in how it impacted the current governor and the previous governor. And so I would think that anyone coming against you would understand the political implication. Do you truly believe you have that sort of influence that could scuttle, the current governor's ambition for whoever it is that he wants, given what people may have described as a disloyalty to the previous governor?
Edo people, we are very sophisticated people in terms of our thinking. We are very sophisticated. I can bet you, go to the street of Benin, go to the street of Paloma, go to the street of Edo North. They will tell you that when they were taking out my billboard, some called me and said, "You don't need billboard, we know you." We don't need billboard, leave there, let them remove all the billboards. They need to use billboard for their own because they don't know that one. But you don't. So you understand? So I am confident that the structure that I see and the people that I know, they will not support anybody that they feel is an outsider. They know me, they can feel me, they can touch me, and that is why they are all saying, "Don't stop." Some might even say, if they try anything, you go somewhere else. And I say, no, we'll get it here. So there are a lot of things.
Maybe like another party.
So because you were talking about the streets just now, I remember the tweet from Edo Lights, and he's talking about how the streets are boiling.
Yeah.
There's so much criminality happening in Edo State right now. Yesterday he tweeted that if you live in certain areas in Edo State, in Benin particularly, he called out about 6 areas and said cultism, dead bodies are everywhere in Edo State right now. And a fan of the show, Eki, is also Benin. He's tweeting right now saying, reportedly is littered with dead bodies. He's confirmed from police officers. You, as the Edo State government, they're also alleging that the government in politics give guns to vigilantes that empowers this and all this problem. What exactly would you say you have done? And what would you do if you get to Edo to stop the cultism happening? The sad thing is that even in Auchi, when I traveled, I wasn't pleased. When I traveled this year, I wasn't pleased by the things I saw. The drive of the youth. How involved in the street are you? How concerned are you about these problems? And what would you do to change them?
Yeah, I'm really, really concerned. And security issues are not what you talk in public. But I can tell you that I can handle the problems of Edo State security-wise. I've done it before as an acting governor of the state. I acted twice now as governor in 8 years. One was for 1 month, the other one was for 15 days. And unfortunately, or fortunately, the first 30 days we had S-men and farmer clashes were at the peak. At that time I was acting. And what I simply did was to reorganize the vigilante network. The first ever meeting with all the DPOs. I called all the DPOs, called all the hunters, called all the restructured the vigilante group, called all the first-class village chief, first set of meeting, and reorganized the secretarial architecture. Got the federal government, the chief of army staff, chief of air staff, to come to our rescue. And what did I do? We went, they got some drones from the Air Force, got a helicopter from them, and they came to comb our bushes to check what they should. And what we saw was an eyesore. An eyesore. And we had to call a second meeting. Within that 1 month, got the village head to now be involved. And I gave a matching order that anything that happened within that vicinity, the village head must be held responsible. So the implication is that I involved the traditional rulers now in governance in their domain. And we agree. and I released some funding, and they said we needed a vehicle. 100 million was my limit to be spent in 1 month. There's no way I can buy. And after 24 million was Hilux. That means I must spend 100 million as well for. So I have to check. There was a police officer that worked in Lagos before, and yeah, he's now there. I think he was the area commander of Edo Central area axis, and he said, "Okay, you don't need Hilux. In Lagos, there's this Sienna 2002 Sienna. We use it in Lagos." I said, he said, "You don't need to go into Lusaka." And I asked, after the meeting, I asked how much they buy the Sienna. So at that time, 1.9 million. You buy it, then refurbishing, change tire and everything, about 2.3 million, some 2.2 different. And I ordered 20 immediately. Refurbish them, and we push them in. I can bet you, after cleaning the bush with the Air Force and the military, and I introduced what we call bush combing. Every week, the village heads, the DPO in that area, they go into the bush to do bush combing, and the farmers return back to their farm. And when the governor came, from that leaf, he wrote a commendation letter.
Okay.
That came me. I still have it here. I can give it to you. He wrote a commendation letter praising me, and we now adopted that security architecture. But the problem today is that we didn't follow through. And as deputy governor, it's only what you are given that you can do. And the 15 days, the other one was the one active for 15 days. There was this Igweben train station either, if you remember.
Yes.
And I gave another order that in 7 days, we must rescue these people. I left from the front. I got the same village heads in that area, worked with Delta to also block their own axis, kept these people in the bush. I was there for 5 days, and we rescued these people.
Wow.
You understand? So I'm building practical government. I'm not going to be leading from the office or from the laptop. I'm going to be giving straight or from.
All right, let me go on a very we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Ikechukwu Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah, they claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
Subterfuge.
Such a feud.
SUBTERFUGE.
So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become such. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan, or
I promise you, it was actually a mistake.
how you run it.
This gift is for Santa Claus.
Thanks for staying with us.
Yes, I find what you talked about earlier very commendable. But what I am referring to is courtism.
Yeah.
You know, and the worrisome something is that they make arrests in the morning and you see the boys in the evening strolling around. What exactly can be done to ensure that we take this menace off the streets so the people can walk freely again?
Yeah, like I said, revolutionary tactics are not discussed in public, but I can tell you that
this is not a matter of the issue of men and all of that coming in the bush. Those are revolutionary. What you need to do with courtism is, prosecution, conviction, and mindset changing. We can't have every 20% of our youth in Edo thinking it's even a joke. You know, there are kids. You born cultists, you born. Those. I just don't want to. Those negatives are popularized. What exactly? I'm driving towards.
Every environment has its peculiar setting. Every environment, every state has its peculiar setting. What is good for the other side may not be the same method that is good for your state. And that's why I don't want to disclose too much.
Yeah.
I don't want to disclose too much. To deal with cultism is something we can handle. We can handle it. I've made some suggestions before. We can handle it. And when this thing was coming up, some of the suggestions I gave, the CP then worked with it and were able to bring it down. Now we need to just improve on it and consistent monitoring. We know they have records of the heads of various cultist group. They have all of them. And so in line with what they have faces. They have faces. So you can deal with it. Really.
Because of time, let me just try, because we have a lot of questions I want to ask you. You said something earlier that being a politician, experienced politician, and you rather lead from the front and not from laptops and stuff like that. But there's a school of thought that believes that for you to really make substantial progress in state, you need to create jobs.
Yeah.
Creating jobs is not just doing the political governance. No. It's more of attracting investors. Yeah. How do we do to build the economy? Which it seems to some people, school of thought, that Obaseki has been able to attract foreign interest into that state. So many will believe that a technocrat being a governor, a politician being a deputy governor is always a better combination to drive a state. So maybe that could be one of the reasons why Obaseki believes that, listen, I need a technocrat who's going to create jobs, who can actually continue the work I'm doing, not another politician that will be focusing on, I'll talk to the others here, how to just, get everybody happy. And, could that be a reason, or do you believe in that combination?
Yeah. That's why I said that every state has its peculiarity. Edo will not welcome any technocrats now. Maybe in the future, yes. But Edo will not welcome any technocrat now. And because of what they see now. That is the truth. I will say it the way it is. You can throw me away, but you can't throw my West remains. That is the truth. And why is that? Even in the name of technocrat, I will not pride myself as a technocrat. I've had both public and private experience. What I see now, in quote, private sector is governed by regulation, while public sector is governed by laws. And they come with that mindset of private sector and forget the law. For instance, today, we have SUBEB. We don't have a board. We only have one lady. We only have one lady that is chairman and was not cleared by the house. That's an aberration. Because as a private sector, you can do that. It's your company. You can decide to fire and hire. In public sector, you can't fire and hire. There's procedures. So when you come with the mindset,
some argue that that's the problem with Nigeria, because we focus so much on the bureaucracy, although this is how it's done. Because somebody trying the solution, I'll come to you, sir. The solution is every child must be educated. Learning must take place. That's my solution. How to get there is get in those technocrats to do the job. Because so all the bureaucratic process, this is how it's done. Those are political considerations that Nigerians really don't need.
Let me tell you, I handle sports in Edo State. I handle sports in Edo State. And the bureaucracy of government, you cannot run sport with bureaucracy of government. When I got there, I discovered that the problem of sport was government bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And the government has said, we want to make Edo a sporting hub, and you have experience, go and do it. So it's my loss now to find a way out of this bureaucracy and say, make sure I maintain standard. Okay. And what did I do? I reorganize the financing. I reorganize the system. So from my office to the list person, if I need anything approved, same day or within 24 hours, the people that needs the fund, we get the fund. So bureaucracy is how the heads decide to make it efficient. That it will be efficient. So bureaucracy of government is meant to create a system where there's accountability and there's no fraud. And that's why in private sector you can cut the chain in your transaction. In public sector, no matter how you attempt to cut chain, the system still have records.
You are still in the executive. Why is the House of Assembly of Edo State not talking about this? In Lagos recently, when the elections were done, and the governor sent his list for his cabinet, the speaker stood his ground and said it must be done this way. Why did the House of Assembly or the speaker take a stand about this?
Yeah, every house has its own system and peculiarity. When I was in the State House of Assembly, we have engaged the then governor, both Osumbo and Governor Oshomole, and we have said no to this, no to that, and we come, we discuss, and some of those things we say no to. The reason why we say no. So if this house decides that everything that the executive bring goes is their own system, that's what they've adopted.
Acting like a rubber stamp.
I don't know, but that's what they have decided. So I don't want to speak about it. I think the speaker will be better to answer that question, because for me, I can speak about our own assembly, how effective and efficient that assembly was. And sometimes the comrade even commended us for insisting. Because some of this thing is to make the system work. It's not just rubber stamp anything that comes. You must be able to engage. Through that engagement, even the person saying you should do certain things will not see a reason why you should even do it. And I'm from the school of thought, from my activist background, to Oxford, where issues are discussed, superior ones have their way. Okay.
So, sir, let's go back a bit. You talked earlier about having to disagree with Oshomole just to be on, in this government with Obaseki and support him. What were the qualities you saw in him that made you want to be part, or agreed, because you were persuaded, agreed to be part of his government?
Yeah, one of the things you must give to the governor, that we must give to him, was his ability to reorganize the finances to the extent that we can pay salary as around you. It was part of the thing Oshomole told us, that when we bring him, he will be able. Oshomole saw a recession coming, and I said he needed an economist. That was one of the things he used in convincing us. He didn't bully us, he didn't intimidate us, he didn't stop any salary or anything. He had a conversation with us. We had more than 10, 15 conversations before we now agreed to support Obaseki. And one of the things he said was that he would want somebody that will be prudent in managing our resources and be able to bring capital in. And one thing he said, that he wants somebody that can sustain civil service salary without defaulting. So he was able to do that. Today he has been able to do that. You understand? So that is one of them. The other one was our effort to deal with the issue of basic education. Oshomole built infrastructure, red roof everywhere, but the content, we brought the content in this one. So then we reorganized the one of the major problems we also had with Comrade was we organized the tax system. We came to Lagos to understudy Lagos, and when I was asked to handle that, I also went on one or two training to brush myself on management of that, digitalizing the system. We were able to also take the area boys and start remove their toga of area boys and wear them suits and reorganize and restructure our internally generated revenue. Where we are now talking about 60 to 70 billion in a year in a budget.
You touched on
so those are some of the things that, and also one thing that is there to me was health. Health. I've always each time I go to UBTH or Euro Specialist Health Foundation, and I see the crowd that I see there, I feel no. Tertiary institution, health institution should not be the first point of call. We should be dealing with primary health, and by WHO standard, 3 kilometers to every neighborhood to your house, there should be a health center. That should be the first point of call. And I saw the governor also thinking in that direction. So those are some of the qualities, and those are some of the areas I'm going to deal with and improve.
Talk about basic education, because I know that Edo was one of the places that even us in Lagos State studied to see how you're doing. Yeah. What's the success of Edo Best? Do you think it's something you're going to continue or stop?
No. I will continue with Edo Best with practicalizing almost everything that we have done. There are some hiccups, which definitely will, but continue to Edo Best. I'll take it to the next level. I'll take it to the secondary school. We are actually dealing with primary and GSS. That's where we are now. But taking the secondary, because we still have a lot of gaps in the senior secondary school, teachers and all those things. So I am going to take. We have Edo Best 1.0. I'm taking it to 2.0 by including the senior secondary school. So it's a project that will continue, but with some little adjustment. But it's a program that must continue.
Okay. With the fallout of things now, do you sit down and regret ever disagreeing with Oshomole on Obaseki's account?
Yeah, Oshomole, people have asked me, I regret because the government I supported. You know, the only thing, and I've apologized, I must say apologizing to Comrade Adansoli Oshomole. I regret when I listen, I don't language, but in terms of the principle to support Obaseki, if I still have the opportunity, I'll support Obaseki. Because at that time, that was the right thing to do. It's the language. Not because Obaseki is doing what he's doing now, I will not deny him. No. I will support Obaseki again if that scenario play. But what I will amend is the language. And I apologize again to Comrade Adansoli on the language.
On this, because who is the vengeful one? If you said that, you know, Comrade Adansoli did the red roofs, he did this, he did that, he did open race. That, for me, is very offensive to have stopped. Because he opened a door to the world. It was a race internationally recognized. People were coming in for it. For whatever reason, would you have stopped such a thing? When, yes.
Still on.
It's not been hard.
No, it's still on.
How? When?
No, it's still on. The last edition to the only time we didn't have Open Race was during COVID. 2020. But it's still been on.
We didn't hear about it. It's
maybe,
not promoted as usual.
Maybe.
Lagos is still doing marathon.
Okay.
It's still popular.
No, maybe because I was not in the last race. For family issues. That's why it's still on. It's still on. No, it's still on. It's still on. It's not cancelled. It's still on. Only in 2020. Only in 2020 that we didn't have it. Yeah, no late 2020. That's what I'm telling you. Because
that's allowed
because I was not there.
So you give celebrities.
Okay. We have to wrap. We have just a few minutes to close.
Go
ahead, man.
Yeah, so the governor himself was in the papers some months back and had to do the roads in the name. And he said something that got Nigerians wondering when he said that it looked like the federal government was not listening to his request to repair those roads. Please tell us what happened there.
I think I don't want to join the blame game. When we are contesting for position, we can be talking party. But merely we are sworn in, forget party.
It's do the work.
It's to not do the work. And you must collaborate with whoever you need. As governor of Edo State, by the grace of God, after being sworn in 2020, this year, November 12th. If it means to go to the President Baba and lie down before him, I will lie down before him to tell the Minister of Works, go and deal with my son's state and make sure the roads and whatever I need, give to him. As the President is making that pronouncement, we see August visitor in January, in March, and everything. I have done it before. I got the Chief of Army Staff, I got the IG, I got Chief of Air Staff to send their sophisticated equipment to Edo State, and I was used to. I was able to clear S-men.
Why did you apply it in this case?
I'm not the governor.
You're the deputy governor.
I can only suggest.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this question. This
It's not on you.
What if February comes, the primaries take place, and you lose out? What happens?
I don't lose. I win. So the losing is not in my.
You don't know. I remember doing the presidential campaign. Lots of all of them said they're going to win.
No.
Somebody went home.
Let me tell you, if my party wants to win an election in Edo, they need Philip Shaibu to be the candidate. If they want to lose, give it to somebody else. That is the truth. I am not saying it because I feel I'm a superstar. No. I have the content. I have the quality, I have the more experience. I can bet you, as we speak now, I have a group of persons that have already worked out rain station, rain line in Benin, and I call it Oredo Pela train station. And as we speak, from Oredo, it stops at Umode. From Oredo, it goes straight to Okada. From Oredo, it goes straight to Opela. I call it Oredo Pela. From around there, it joins the line going to Warri.
We have investors waiting.
No, we are working on the program. Now the document is out. Now I'm not checking financing. How will it finance? First phase, I discovered that they be a line, which I call orange line. Will take 3.5 years to build. Okay. Why the Oredo Opula will take 7 years to build. I'm already working on
let me jump in here for a second, because you said something that struck me, and I know that you're a politician. Yeah. And I kept thinking in my head, you said that when concerning the roads, if you even have to go to the president and lay down flat.
Yes.
And that, for me, is a problem. It's one of the issues Nigerians have, especially younger people, saying, we don't want to have to double it to anybody to get things done. The fact that your principal, for example, was able to get $70 million, I believe, from one of these international organizations for basic education is because he has put in work. And even if he doesn't have to go and double it to anybody to give him money for basic education in the state, international organizations are giving him money because they've seen the work. So what Nigerians are asking for is governance at a level where I don't need to double it to anybody. People are coming and saying, Edo is the hub for me to build, and private sector companies are calling you, different companies saying, let us put money together to build roads. We don't have to double it to anybody. So that's part of what Nigerians are saying. We don't want that kind of governance anymore.
Let me tell you, when you are hostile to a federal system, there's no way you can operate. So I will not be hostile. That is the point I'm making. I will not be hostile to any federal. I don't need to use state resources to go and erect signboard that this is federal road. I don't need to do that. That money can do something else. That is the point I'm making. And in terms of bringing private sector, all these private sector to have another day to really discuss what private sector is supposed to bring in and what government is supposed to bring in. I will not be a governor that in the name of private sector use government resources to build project necessary supposed to be funded by private sector. Because when I'm bringing money in, the money should come from private sector. My equity should be, if you need the land, I have it. I give you, that's my equity. Yes, conducive environment, building a major infrastructure like road and water and sewage and the land. That is my equity. My equity should not be taking loan, using government, taking loan to build private. No, I won't do that. That is not the kind of private sector I'll be bringing in.
I also wanted to add a bit to your analogy of if you needed to lie down, which I see as you being humble enough to go for what you want. Put in here exactly. If you need to slate the meetings, go there. If you need to wait at the door to attend, to get it. And we remember.
6 governors.
Hold on. Remember, there was an analogy of how he did something like this.
And following due process.
Hold on now. He had to make some calls that on a normal day you will be waiting till papers are filed.
Don't mind.
Till
What if you're a governor from Sokoto, don't have access? You all the places they don't have access.
As a governor, vice president, as governor,
We're still assuming that those things were not
when
done.
Boko Haram was at the height of it in his state,
See,
he went to the opposition.
Is even in what bank you are talking about, you need to convince them. If you don't convince them,
You won't
they
get
won't even
anything.
give you money.
Yeah.
You have to
President
convince
don't
them.
have
You understand? So you need to convince.
So we-
first.
so
Edo
are
is a
we
hub.
saying that he's
Edo
not
is
a
a
good
hub in terms
lobbyist?
of transportation. Edo is a hub in terms of growing the GDP of Nigeria, and that is a selling point for Edo, for federal government, and for other investors, other multinationals and the rest. Another thing that we also make mistake as a state, and that's why I say I'm bringing experience on board. The experience is that I've also observed that the local government, states are now doing the work of local government. So I'm going to strengthen the local government, and I'm going to eradicate and cancel the office of, the office, the commissioner for local government and PES. No, it will not exist under my ward, because there's no Ministry of State Affairs in Abuja. So why would I be? So local government need to be strengthened to do trunk C roads, not stay in trunk C roads.
Finally, yes. Have you
Have
picked a deputy governor in
Let him examine it.
Wait, is it a technocrat person you're looking to, or a more political person like you?
I'm taking government back to the people. Practical government. The party will play its role. It is the party that will decide that, because it's key. I'm going to be contested on that political party and that leadership will take charge.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Shebu, he's the deputy governor of Edo State. Thank you so much for joining us today. I wish you the best February, and maybe after that, we'll now come. If you win, we'll bring you back
When
again.
I win, not if.
Okay,
when
when you win,
we'll
bring you back again for a conversation to see your plans.
As
So thank you very
governor,
much.
or as candidate.
As candidates.
Okay, first as candidate, the rest with governor.
governor.
Thank you very much.
So it's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
That's you can take on today's show. It's Happy New Year to you. Enjoy, eat, feast. Tomorrow, work starts. Work starts. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Good.
Argentina, champions of the world!
Lagos is the most visited state in Africa as the fifth largest economy on the continent. Covering the state and its government is no mean feat, it's a busy beat. We go beyond the curtain of tapes to travel in far into the deep.
I want to thank the Lagos State government for the healthcare facility.
To bring stories that cut across all spectrums.
A greater Lagos shall be ours.
We tell you stories that define our collective well-being as Lagosians. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Desde atrás, avanzar sin dudar, ocultar que se tuvo un pasado. Lo importante es saber dónde vas, dominar la pasión, piel de ángel que cubre un león, corazones de fuego y de hielo. En tu dicha se oculta dolor, vuela sin alma, sacrificando el amor, cuerpo sin calma. Estás cometiendo un error, ciega no alcanzas a encontrar de verdad la pasión, mientes sin pausa y al final sabrás que el amor deja sin alma.
And how was the interview?
Normal. He said what I expected to hear. I hope that with you it's a different story. I hope you surprise me.
Well, people in his position have to say the right things. It's easy for me because I know the details of their intimate lives.
Is that right? If only someone would tell me where to look. I think that my job would be far easier, don't you think?
The only thing I have to say is you have to be careful of looking in the wrong places, or you'll be wrong again.
What?
I was not Mariano's lover. You made a mistake there. Mariano was not cheating on Cristina Santana with me. You missed that. Excuse me.
Ma'am, do me a favor. What is the name of the woman you were talking to?
Excuse me?
That tall and pretty one, the nice one. That is Paloma, right?
Yes, it's her.
I knew it.
What? What happened? What did you know?
No, thank you, ma'am. No, thank you.
Ugh, people with nothing to do. Let's go.
I found Paloma. I found my daughter.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, but this conversation's going to have to happen another time. My customers are going to be here any minute now. Today's the opening day of the restaurant. So I think it's going to have to be sometime later. A menu for the lady. Would you perhaps like an arrapita? They're star-shaped. It's on the house.
No, I didn't come to eat. I need to talk to you. I won't take up a lot of your time.
Excuse me, I'm sorry for interrupting. Ma'am, it's a real pleasure to have you here. It's just that Estrella is right. People will start arriving any moment now, and we need to get ready before they do.
I have some questions that I really need answered. I promise I won't be very long.
What did Paloma do now?
Nothing. You simply worked for her, and so you know her very well. I want to know a couple of things about Paloma's family and her past.
And since when are you Paloma's defender? I told you that woman was not for you.
I know that already, but I also need to know why she came to this city. What is she looking for? What does she want?
Okay, Mariano. Paloma and I have not seen eye to eye. And I am convinced that you should be cautious. She is my first cousin, and I shouldn't be speaking badly about my family like this, but...
Federico, you and I are friends. You can talk to me with confidence.
You like Paloma, and I know it. And I've known it from the first day. But I just acted stupid because I thought the feeling might just go away. Thank goodness it wasn't that way. It's better to keep that woman at a distance. And now I'm sorry, but I have to leave. They're waiting for me at the restaurant opening. If I'm not there, Paula will kill me.
Miss Anna Milena, you're making me nervous with all these questions. What can I tell you? Paloma was a little girl, like any other. Her childhood wasn't particularly unusual.
Is her family rich? I guess that they are, since they had you to take care of her. Where is Paloma's family now?
Maybe you should just ask these questions to Paloma, because she can surely tell you how everything is and was, her life, her family. I have no idea.
Come and help me put everything in the oven. Hello.
Hello. And are they related to you?
Yes. This is Daniela, my daughter, and this is Mirta, my mother-in-law. Well, I guess if there's nothing else, I'll see you later. Is that okay?
I imagine that you also know Paloma, right?
Oh, I know who you are now. You're the lady from the newspaper. You're my little girl's boss.
No, ma'am. Unfortunately, we don't really know Paloma.
And what are you talking about?
You know what it is? Daniela was too little and she doesn't remember. And Mirta, well, Mirta, yes, she knows her. Oh, I do apologize, ma'am. I really have so many things to do and I'm gonna have to leave you now.
Well, I will be waiting for when you are available to talk to me.
Yes, I think that after the opening we can have a chat. So we'll talk soon.
Excuse me.
There's just one thing I still need to know, please. Why are you so interested in Paloma?
Because I just simply want to protect my family. And the truth is that I don't trust her.
Why do you say that? Has she done something to you?
No, not yet. But it's better to be safe than sorry. You are a mother, and have children also, and you know that we always put ourselves before any danger they may be in.
Ma'am, please forgive me for not having a lot of time for you today.
Don't worry about it.